guests on ZASLOW Show 2.0, of course, are brought to us by the official beer of the program. You know we're talking Johnny Cuba. Go to johnnycuba.us. You can find the nearest location to you. You pick up a six-pack, European roots, a Caribbean soul, a refreshing German lager in a can. That's how you'll enjoy all of the college and NFL action this weekend. Make sure you always drink responsibly. And don't forget Johnny Cuba's mantra, stay tranquilo. Our pal is Brad Gilmore. We haven't chatted with him in a little bit here. Love being able to talk some movies with him. ESPN Radio 97.5 in Houston. He's got the Hall of Fame with Booker T. Obviously, we love talking pro wrestling with Brad, but also you can catch him writing on Critic's Choice and a host out there at CW39 in Houston. Hello, Brad. How are you?
Zaz, man, I'm good, brother. I'm good. It's good to see you. It's good to be back on the Zaslow Show 2.0. I think when I'm on it, it's like 2.5. You know,
you bring it up a notch. That's fair. I like it. You certainly you increase the certainly the looks
decimal
on the show. You always got the suit. You got the good hair. I mean, there's a class quotient that you bring up when you join the show. That's for sure. I love being able to talk movies with someone on the program. So let's get into it here. All right. There are some movies that are out right now, either coming out this weekend or have been out for a few weeks now that I'm dying to get to. So I figure who better to talk to than Brad, who talks to these guys. All right. You see the movie. You get the movie sent to you early? Do you ever get to screen them early?
Oh, most of them I get to see before most people. Yeah. It's a privilege of being members of the Critics' Choice.
How do I get on this list? I want the movie. I want the screeners. I don't care if it's got the watermark coming on the screen. I want to see the movies early, Brad. How do I get on that list?
Look, talk to me after the show. I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah, that's what I need. So, all right, a movie that's been out for a few weeks, which I don't even know if it's still in the theaters anymore, obviously, because it didn't do well. But I haven't had a chance to get to the Smashing Machine with The Rock, of course, Emily Blunt. I want to see it. Obviously, I'm going to see it. I may not be able to get to it while it's still in the theaters here. It bombed. Are you surprised that it bombed? Because I think on the surface, you think about it like, all right, it's an MMA movie, which is a very niche sport still, no matter how mainstream it is. And it's about an MMA fighter who, yeah, like a lot of people probably never heard of. Are you surprised that the movie bombed?
No, I'm not. I'm not surprised it didn't have a strong box office performance for the reasons that you just mentioned. I know it had Dwayne Johnson in it, but it's a indie movie, right? It's an A24 movie, but it's an indie movie feel. Normally, these aren't going to bring in the seats. And what we see in the movie theaters nowadays is you've got to be more of a tentpole film in order to actually attract a real audience. And then you couple that with, like, if this was an MMA story about the origins of Ronda Rousey, Chuck Liddell, maybe even, but to a lesser extent, or a Conor McGregor, or Brock Lesnar, John Jones, some of the big name stars, people probably would have gone and seen it. Mark Kerr, loved the guy, had him on the show, phenomenal talent in his day, but not a household name that even hardcore MMA fans, and we're talking post Ultimate Fighter boom, so 05 on, probably don't know who Mark Kerr is, right? I mean, this is kind of a niche thing. Now, Dwayne Johnson playing Mark Kerr, it intrigued me. I was interested by it, especially when I saw the trailer, but it did not shock me that it didn't do well.
Was Rock as good as he was being touted to be in this movie?
Yes. Now, here's the thing. This is my take on the movie. This is the first film in the Dwayne Johnson filmography where he does not play The Rock. It's the first one ever. Right. You know, he might be named this guy, Tom, Larry, Moe, whatever his names are in these movies. He's playing The Rock. In The Scorpion King, he was a CGI scorpion playing The Rock. You know what I mean? It's just that's who he is, and that's why we've loved him. It's the reason why we love Sly. It's why we love Arnold. It's why we love Bruce Willis whenever he was playing, John McClane. It's because they're playing themselves with the volume up. Same thing like pro wrestling. So The Rock was a great fit for it. This is the first time that I've seen The Rock play a character, and he's playing Mark Kerr, and the prosthetics help, the voice helps. Sometimes he is fantastic, and he shows like real vulnerability and emotion, especially the scenes with him and Emily Blunt. Screw all the fight stuff. I didn't have to see any of that. That was my least favorite part of the whole movie, was the fighting scenes. The best scenes were between him and Emily Blunt, where he would show real and raw emotion. but there are some times, Zaz, where you see him and you go, "You're not Mark Kerr. You're The Rock." There's just he's so famous. Sometimes it's hard to separate him, even though he's playing the best role of his life. Now, will he get nominated for an Oscar? Is what people have been asking. That's what they've been talking about. Is it a possibility? It's a possibility. It's becoming a more and more crowded field this year, but I would almost put money that he gets nominated for a Golden Globe. And for The Rock, I think that would be a huge success, even if he doesn't win it.
Okay, so you're not even going with, is it possible he wins an Oscar? You're going with, is it possible he's nominated for an Oscar?
Yeah, he's not winning the Oscar for this role. No, he's not winning the Oscar for this role. Could he get nominated? He could. It's 5. There's 5 names. So could he find himself into one of those? You got Leo running out there. You've got Timothy Chalamet with Marty Supreme, which we're still waiting to see. There's a few other roles. There's a big campaign behind Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Sinners is picking up a lot of heat in award season. I think The Rock gets nominations. The thing that also hurts the movie is the movie isn't great. It's okay. Emily Blunt is insanely great. The Rock is his best acting performance. Ben Safdie, who's one half of the Safdie brothers, they did Uncut Gems, which features Adam Sandler and Kevin Garnett, which is a favorite of a lot of people.
And he was also in Oppenheimer, right?
Yes. This film adapted the documentary so faithfully, it did a disservice to the movie, to where you're not looking as much of a narrative as you're looking at a recreation of a documentary in a lot of ways. There are scenes where you're wondering, okay, why are we here? There's stories that start and then just stop, and you don't know what the outcome of it is. So the direction left something to be desired, but the performances are great. And Boss Rutan plays Boss Rutan, and he does it very, very well.
Yeah, predictably. Okay, so that's Smashing Machine. Tell me a little bit about Frankenstein, which is Guillermo del Toro's new movie. So is this a different take on Frankenstein? What's in store for us here?
So this is Guillermo del Toro's first live action since Shape of Water, which he won the Oscar for a few years back for Best Picture. This is Oscar Isaac, who to me is a treat in anything that he is in. He elevates. He plays Victor Frankenstein, and like the teenage heartthrob Jacob Elordi, who people know from Euphoria. He also played Elvis Presley in the Priscilla Presley movie that came out a year or two ago. He plays the creature, and it's the best depiction of the Mary Shelley novel of Frankenstein that you've ever seen. It's not the spark plugs in his neck walking and the villagers with pitchforks and fire. That's not this kind of Frankenstein. This is a movie that tells the story of Victor Frankenstein, who is so hell-bent on creating life, he forgets that he also has to live it. And then when he climbs to the mountaintop and finally achieves his goal, it's almost like the guy who climbs Mount Everest and then goes, wait a minute, what do I do now? And they get that Great Depression and, what have I done kind of thing. And Guillermo del Toro, his aesthetic is perfect for this movie. He is obsessed with Frankenstein and has been since he was a kid. It's a amazing father and son story that really resonates, and the effects are great. I think that this got a lot of Oscar contention here. I don't know if Elordi gets nominated for a supporting actor as the creature. I don't think so, but the makeup is sensational. The set design is sensational. The cinematography is incredible. The script is great, and Oscar Isaac is amazing in this movie. I couldn't. Okay. This is for someone who thought Shape of Water was okay, didn't see it as Best Picture, wasn't the strongest year. This is a really great return to form for Guillermo del Toro, who did the Pinocchio film a year or so ago, but this one is the one. And I think it has like a 99 on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, so, go figure.
What do you make of the new Black Phone? I saw the original. I have not seen the sequel yet. I'm not quite sure how there's a sequel because Ethan Hawke's character died in the first one. But that first Black Phone, I think it's a great movie.
What I love about the horror genre in general is if you can get a good hook, a log line is what they call it in a script, right? You get that good hook for somebody to come in and you believe in the mythology of it. And you tell it with tension. Tell the story with tension. And that's what they did in Black Phone 1. And Ethan Hawke was great in it. So when you have a great concept and then you throw in a great actor who knows how to be able to facilitate that, man, it made for a really compelling horror film. And I'm somebody who I don't enjoy the genre as much. I'm not a big horror guy.
Oh,
It's
me and
not
my
that I don't
boys
find
love it. We see all the horror films. We love it.
it's not that I don't. It's not that I don't find art in the genre or anything. It's just look. I'm a Back to the Future guy. Give me a fantasy, fun, go to the
Yeah.
future film. That's what I like. I like to escape. I don't want to get scared. But Black Phone, I think, was one of the strongest entries into the genre in the past 5 years. I know a lot of people talk about Jordan Peele and they're talking about this Him movie that he helped produce. That movie, not good, awful,
I heard
terrible,
it was terrible, right?
unwatchable.
Wow.
Black Phone 2, bringing Ethan Hawke back. You know, you don't want any spoilers on how that happens.
Right.
But you know what? In order to have a successful sequel, you got to give the people what they loved about the first one, but also make it a little bit different and try to raise the stakes. And I think they do so here without jumping the shark.
How about the new Springs? Have you seen the new Springsteen movie with Jeremy Allen White?
So I saw an extended cut of it. I haven't
Mhm.
seen or extended scene, so I haven't seen the full film. But to me, Jeremy Allen White, he's trying to be what oh my gosh, the actor who played Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman at one point was playing Jackie Robinson, James Brown. He was playing like all the biopics. And Jeremy Allen White, he's coming off of playing one of the Von Erichs, and now he's
Right.
here, playing Springsteen, which you know, I got to tell you, I'm a little bit worn out on the musical biopic. Even for a guy like Springsteen, whose story is different, I think that when they come around this season, like we saw last year, where Timothy Chalamet took on Bob Dylan, we've seen it before where they did the Freddie Mercury story. I think the best, Elvis was what a couple years ago as well.
It was
You could
Elton
even go
John a few years before that.
Elton John right before that. We've seen so many of these that it feels, even though this one does some different things with it, and you actually feel like you get the live performances feel really authentic. It just feels like another one of these movies that I go, okay, cool. Yeah, I knew about Springsteen, I guess. That's cool. Yeah, well, awesome. I think that he's still around. And to me, Bruce Springsteen is so still relevant and still in the public consciousness. And you see him on shows and late night television that I think that for a good biopic, there needs to be a separation enough to where the mystique and the lore can build up about this character so that we buy in more to the film in the same way we did with Freddie Mercury or Walk the Line with Joaquin Phoenix or even the Elvis movie. So for that, I'm like, I know Springsteen, but Jeremy Allen White is a great actor. I just wanted to see him do something different after this. I don't want him to return to the biopic well.
Do you think you have to be a big Springsteen fan to enjoy that movie?
It helps. It definitely helps. In the same way that if you're an MMA fan, it helps to watch the Smashing Machine. It helps
Yeah.
if you're a Springsteen fan, but you don't have to be. You don't have to know a single Springsteen record to enjoy the movie. You'll probably learn, like for me, honestly, when I was a kid, I saw Walk the Line in theaters. I didn't know a lot about Johnny Cash. And after I watched the movie, I went and listened to every Johnny Cash record that there ever was, and I became the biggest Johnny Cash fan. So you could see a new era of Springsteen fans maybe pop up after this. So yeah, you don't have to know the songs or really know his story to enjoy the film. To me, it just felt like the proverbial paint by number biopic, and sometimes I just don't enjoy those.
How about the new Leonardo DiCaprio movie, One Battle After Another? He's my favorite. I'll see anything that DiCaprio does.
He's one of the last true movie stars. I think it's DiCaprio and Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. I think if one of those guys are in a movie, it doesn't really matter. You're going to see it. To me, Leo is that guy for me. He's so selective with his filmography. And so when I saw that he was doing a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, I was like, okay, let's see what we're doing. Because Leo, what he's so good at, he loves working with, go figure, great directors.
Yeah.
He loves working with Scorsese. He worked with Spielberg. He's worked with Quentin Tarantino now on 2 occasions, giving to me Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the best Quentin Tarantino movie. And so to follow that up, or not follow that up, but to then go to a Paul Thomas Anderson, PTA, and do one of his films, I was very optimistic about what I was going to see, and then I ended up getting blown away by it. It's long, but it doesn't feel like it. It's almost 3 hours, but it breezes by. He is so good at every aspect of this movie, you forget that it's a movie. Like that's how great Leo is in this. And I want to shout out Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor, R&B singer, kind of came up under Kanye West and in the good music tribe. She I had not seen her act before in anything that I could remember, and she is awesome in the film, and she's only elevated by Leonardo DiCaprio. And then there's Chase Infinity, who she's the main female star of the film, and she's getting an Oscar nomination. It may be a win. She might win for this movie. She's so spectacular, and I think that how like when Tom Brady was on top and he was the guy and his peak of his powers, he could make a lacrosse player look like a Pro Bowl wide receiver. Like that's how good Leo is. He just elevates everybody around him in the same way TB12 did. And so Chase Infinity, this is the first time I've seen her. I know she's going to be in a ton of stuff after this, and she's getting all the award nominations.
Now, how about one more for you here? Michael Chiklis in The Senior. Where is this based on a true story? Where
Yes.
So he goes back to he's got another year of college eligibility, even though he's like 50 years old or something.
He's 59 years old. This happened in the great state of Texas. Okay, like only it can. And Michael Chiklis plays a real life guy named Mike Flint, who was a strength and conditioning coach and ended up going back to college and playing college ball at 59 years old. It's an incredible story, and this is a biopic I like. It's a sports film, so it's hard for me not to like it. It's Michael Chiklis, who come on, man, who didn't love The Shield?
Of course,
he's phenomenal. And then it takes place in Texas, which I'm obviously a big fan of. But he does it so well. And to me, what's great about this story is that, and it sounds cliche, but it's like you truly are never too late to go out and do something. And for Mike Flint to be 59 years old and be starting on a college football team is pretty incredible. And it was filmed in Fort Worth. Michael Chiklis does a great job in it. I don't think it's going to get any awards, attention, or anything like that, but it is a fun movie that I think you should watch with the family, because if you're on the older end of the spectrum,
it's a family film, you're saying, yeah?
Family film. Go see it with your family. Because if you're on the older end of the spectrum, it makes you, it kind of gives you a little battery in your back that, hey, I still got a few rounds left in me. And if you're young, it also lets you know, hey, it's never too late to go out for something that you want. So I like feel good stuff. And this movie was definitely one that leaves you feeling good.
I'm glad to hear you're a Michael Chiklis fan, that you're a Shield fan, because it's so hard to, put a bow on a great TV show and come up with a good finish. And I always go back to The Shield. It's as good a finale of a TV show I think there's ever been.
You know what? That's really great and it's not talked about enough. People talk about the end of The Sopranos or the end of Breaking Bad, and then infamously they talk about the end of Seinfeld being like one of the worst finales of all time, which I don't know if I particularly agree with that take, but I understand it. But The Shield was able to put a bow on a story that, to me, if I was in the writer's room, I would be so intimidated to try to figure out how am I going to wrap this up after great season and to me too, Zaz, it felt like they would top each season that came before it with The Shield.
It's an all-time great show.
It's an all-time great. And Chiklis, I don't know. I don't know why that show doesn't come up as much as it should. And I also don't know why he didn't do more post The Shield, because you would have thought he would have had a nice little theatrical run. This is a fun movie, but you would have thought he would have had more, after The Shield. But The Shield was phenomenal, man. Now, where do you sit on the Seinfeld finale?
I'm fine. I was a huge Seinfeld fan. Granted, the last 2 or 3 seasons are not the same, because that's when Larry David left the writing team. So it's not what it used to be. The finale, it's fine. I certainly loved how they did a callback at the end of Curb Your Enthusiasm. That made me feel better about the Seinfeld finish, that they were able to kind of tie those together. But yeah, the Seinfeld finale is fine. I don't think it means as much when it's a comedy we're talking about. I don't need the finale of the sitcom, especially a sitcom that is so unserious like Seinfeld, to be such a great finale. but it's so hard with the dramas like The Shield or even Game of Thrones, which was not a great final, but The Shield just like The Shield is a tremendous finale. 6 Feet Under is a tremendous finale that comes to mind as well. It's really hard to get the finale of these great shows right.
It is. And I like that you brought up Curb, because the Curb finale did make me like the Seinfeld finale more.
Yeah.
And like, what a strange opportunity to have, like, as a creative. If you're Larry David, I can actually essentially do the same exact finale of this series that people hated about the last series, but also kind of make up for it and find a way to fix it to where people who didn't like it might now like it. It's just comedic genius.
Brad, tell everybody who is not in the South Florida area how they could see you or hear you and everything you got going on.
Yeah, definitely. You'll find me on all social media at Brad Gilmore. Booker T and I with the Reality Wrestling Show and Hall of Fame is also on our YouTube channel. We love when we do our specials on ESPN. I think we got an announcement about another one coming up soon for ESPN Radio. And also, I announced this week, and it's available for pre-order. My first children's book is coming out November the 1st. It's called There's Something Really Great About a Grandma. It's available for pre-order right now. So go get that. And you can get my book about Back to the Future that came out earlier this year, Why We Love Back to the Future.
Yep, we have it here in the Zaslow Mansion. And good for you, a children's book. That's an excellent job, Brad. Love doing this. Love having someone I could talk movies with. Thanks, Brad. I appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Zaz.